Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. It is the 27th of March and we are live. I'm so happy to be here with all of you, and I hope that the sun's shining where you're at. It's shining here and it's nice, so we're loving this spring weather. It just feels so good. I just hope that you guys are having a great start to your week. I think it's a little bit less chaotic than last week, though I don't know. I mean, the daily reading for today was all about knowing the difference between being nice and being kind, and maybe not being nice sometimes when you have to stand up for yourself. So I guess we'll see. Maybe it is that kind of day. That's okay. We know how, right? We've been practicing. I am just glad to see you guys here. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com, #2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. So I need to let my producer know that I can hear myself, so I think I might not be muted on her end. Alrighty. At any rate, I am very glad to be here with you guys, and I'm hoping that I hope you're glad to be here with me too. When you click on that chat button over at 12 Radio, that will redirect you into the Facebook chat room, and all you have to do from there is ask for entry if you've not joined before, and Christy will let you in, and that's easy enough. I am also doing Facebook Live from the chat room, so I hope that if you'd rather watch this than listen to it, that's how you can do that. So head over to the chat room and scroll down. You'll see the Facebook Live event happening. So sometimes it's fun to do that. We're going to do some singing bowl work today, a little bit later on in the show, that I think may be useful for all of you. I know it will. I've been reading all these great articles about reprogramming DNA with your with sound therapy, and we know it's true. We've done it before. It's a principle that is, I think, fascinating. I think it's very fascinating to know that our DNA is not static, you know, that it's dynamic and always changing, and that we can take control and make some changes. So later on in the show, we're going to talk about that a little bit more, and we're going to do reprogramming today with the singing bowl. So we'll get there. So kind of exciting. Lots of good stuff happening. What can I say? Sometimes I lose track of myself. Well, actually, it's been a great week here. I had my kid home all last week for spring break, so it was fun to have Micah home. And now he's gone back, of course. You know, life goes on, and that's okay, but it's kind of nice to have him home. It's a good feeling as a mom to have all of your kids under one roof every once in a while. So I enjoyed that, but it's also good to see him back at school and chasing his dreams and doing what he needs to do. So that's a great thing. I want to let you guys know that I should have some time at the very end of the show for a few readings. So if I can help you today, if you need a reading or a healing or anything in between, let's do it. I would love to help you. And next week will be Animal Communication Day, so make sure you come next week with your babies, and I'll do whatever I can to help them out. Absolutely. Last couple of weeks has been a bit of a time for transitions for the animal set, so we've seen quite a bit of that. We're going to talk about grief a little bit in animals. We've talked about that quite a bit lately, actually, but grief in animals, grieving an animal, and of course doing animal communication. And you know that animal communication for me is not limited to animals that are living. We can also talk to animals who have departed. So that will be the Katie Weaver Show next week. I'm always excited for that. I love that show. I also want to tell you guys, I'm going to be a guest on Monday on Amy Marie's brand new show. This is the Amy Marie Show. I believe that's what it's called. And so she comes on. So 12 News is at 8 a.m. Pacific, and then the Dr. Elisa's show is at 9 a.m. Pacific, and Amy's show is at 10 a.m. Pacific, and I will be her guest, and we're talking about past lives and reincarnation. So that's going to be super fun. Also on 12 News on Monday, I have a guest co-anchor. Christy will be traveling, and so the lovely Christine Dumaurier has volunteered to step in and join me at the 1-2 News desk as my co-anchor. So I'm excited for that. So definitely join us. We're going to have a lot of fun on that show as well. And while we're at it, tomorrow is marching orders on the Psychic Sisters. So Rhonda and I will be working together to bring you guys marching orders. So that's always a wonderful show to give you a peek into what's coming up for the next month. And that, of course, is at 11 a.m. Pacific over here at 1-2 Radio for the Psychic Sisters. So that is what's up. Okay. I want to direct your attention over to the magazine for a minute. You guys know I have a magazine that comes out, Luminous, on Mondays or Tuesdays sometimes, depending on the trajectory of my life. I've chosen to not put too much pressure on myself. Seems like when I do that, I just rebel against it anyway. So Mondays and or Tuesdays. It's been Monday lately. I've been really good. But at any rate, I put a link in the chat room. You can also go find it by heading over to katie-weaver.com and clicking on the Katie's Magazine button. But let's jump into Luminous here for a minute and take a peek. Alrighty, so I called this week the Spring Has Sprung edition, right? Spring has sprung, and we couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy to see the tulips coming up, and the grass is starting to green up a little bit, and the snow is mostly gone, and I'm so happy. So spring has sprung. It's a good time. You know, we've just moved into the spring equinox. This is a good time to do some things to honor the earth and her creatures. So fill up your bird feeders and clean up a little trash, do a little yard work, pay special attention to your front stoop, your front entryway. Make sure that it is clean, it's inviting, it's fresh, it's beautiful, it's whatever you need it to be to invite guests into your home and for you to walk through as you're coming into your house if you do go in your front door. This should be a spot that you feel great about. And if it's not, maybe this is a good time to do something about that. I also talked a little bit about that daily reading that I do and put a link. So I shared that in the chat room too, but it's right there in the magazine. That's how you subscribe to receive the daily reading. And I send it out early every morning so that you have a little peek into what's going on with the energy of the day. I think it's always nice to have that little heads up. My memoir this week, mostly for me, sometimes for you, is an April Fool's Day memoir. April Fool's Day is right around the corner. And I know I've talked about this before, but you know that I come from a household of people who prank, and it happens in my world now too. And I know some of you guys hate that so much, and some of you guys like it. Some of you will absolutely be murderous if somebody pulls a prank on you, and some of you are the biggest pranksters. So I guess it just takes all kinds. But this is a prank I wrote about, something that my dad did to me quite a few years ago that was so over the top, but it was so him for April Fool's Day. So I won't tell you about it, but you can certainly read about it. I think some people would have been super mad that that happened, and some of you, you know, might have done it. So okay. Then we move on to our crystal guidance. Crystal guidance is, of course, by Christy. She's our house master crystallologist around here, and she brings us selenite. Selenite. I actually brought a piece to show you. Sometimes I forget. Selenite's such an awesome stone. If you don't have some selenite, what are you doing with your life? Right? That was terrible. Selenite is where it's at. Selenite is ancient salt. That's what it is. Salt is a crystal, after all. Selenite transmutes low vibrating energy, clears space, clears and charges other stones. It's known as the great transmuter. That's what its job is. So get some selenite, man. You got to have it. Put some selenite on your desk. Wear some. You can get selenite worry stones that are the greatest thing in the world, I swear. So if you don't have some selenite, I can't say loudly enough, you got to have some selenite. But This is what it looks like. Selenite is white, of course. And if you do a little Google search, you will find these incredible caves, these crystal caves in Mexico that they have found, and they're selenite, and they are amazing. These pieces of selenite that are, I don't know how big they are. I'm not going to say how big. They're humongous. That's a spirit word. And someday I'm going there. I'm not kidding. Thank you, Jane. Jane says, you look marvelous. I feel good. Thank you for that. I haven't felt good for about 5 days. And I woke up this morning, and every night when I go to bed, I say to my husband, tomorrow I'm done with this. Tomorrow I'm going to feel amazing. And I woke up today feeling amazing. So mind over matter, or it's just time. I don't know. I don't care. I feel good. So we'll take it. Okay. So thank you, Jane. You are an angel. All right. Moving on. So Christy pulled us a card from her deck. This is, of course, her Energy Oracle deck. And these are some of the cards from the new portion of her deck. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that here in a second. The card is Transmute. The primary message, drop anything you want to clear in the vortex of white light. The challenge is holding on to things that no longer serve you. The crystal is selenite. And the meditation, I release anything that no longer serves me into the vortex of white light to be transmuted into love. One more time. I release anything that no longer serves me into the vortex of white light to be transmuted into love. That's pretty easy, isn't it? Sometimes we choose to keep our crap, right? Sometimes we choose to not heal, or we choose to keep stuff that isn't really serving us anymore. There's no judgment here. We all do it, but this is a very important card. And I was thinking about it in the scope of like spring cleaning. You know, this is a good time to declutter your life, your home, your car, your purse, and your life. Maybe it's your friends list. Maybe it's time to delete those 900 emails that you're never going to get back to and let them go. Maybe it's time to just let go of some stuff that's no longer serving you. When was the last time you cleaned out your makeup? When was the last time you cleaned out your jewelry? When was the last time you reorganized your drawers in your kitchen? Sometimes doing some of the physical transmuting, right? Recycling some stuff, gifting some stuff, reorganizing your home, your world, makes a huge difference. When was the last time you dumped your purse out and only put the things back in it that you actually need in it? Yeah, we're all guilty of this. You're a bag lady. I know you are. We're all bag ladies, man. I quit carrying a purse because I couldn't quit just putting too much crap in it. But this is a good time for that on a physical plane. Now, obviously, it's also a good time for that on an energetic plane. So what do you want to get rid of? Maybe we'll do it today with our DNA programming with our singing bowl. But it's up to you, right? Okay. Oh, Christy's cards. Listen, I don't know if I'm authorized to tell you this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because what's she going to do? Beat me up? She might. She's done that before. I mean, we were in like 5th grade, but she's done it. Okay. Her new deck is done in hand. I can't wait because my deck is at her house. I cannot wait to get it. It's done, guys. This is the reformatting. She added a bunch of new cards. It is absolutely beautiful. I've seen pictures this morning and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Keep an eye on Christy because here in the next day or so, she's going to be releasing that deck. And you can buy it and you're going to want it. So yay. So congratulations, Christy. I'm sorry if I spilled the beans too early, but I'm just a bitch like that. So there you go. Just kidding. I'm feeling quite justified. I'm really excited. So anyway, keep an eye on her because she's going to be rolling those out here like in the next day or two. So very cool stuff. Also, Christy had a really compelling guest this morning on her show. So you might have missed it. Maybe you didn't. I hope you were there. But if you didn't, please watch for the archive or the replay. Her guest this morning was a friend of hers named Chris C. And the book, she wrote a book. She's an author. The book is called Get the Fuck On With Your Life. And she's talking about her journey through a toxic relationship that was really full of trauma and gaslighting and narcissism, and finding her way to the finish of that and into a better existence for herself. Her interview was so good. The book is, I'm positive, going to be really good. So make sure that you listen to the archive or the replay of that show. It will be very worth your time. I feel like either you will feel like you needed to read that for yourself, or you'll listen to this show and go, okay, I am going to pass this along to so-and-so who needs to hear this. And I'm going to order this book for her because she needs to read this. She needs to know. So very good stuff. Okay, Kai's Kaleidoscope this week is called Expand Your Mind. Learn. Practice that brain. She says you do it through concentration, contemplation, and meditation. And she has some suggestions and tools for you on that front. So thank you, Kai. I really liked your article. I need the constant reminder because my mind wants to just do whatever it wants. And sometimes I need a reminder to discipline myself and stop and slow down and focus. And I appreciated what you had to say because I needed to hear it, and I'm sure that some of you guys needed to hear it as well. The tip this week is to paint your front door green. I'm going to. My door has been purple for like 3 years. A magical color, a witchy color. I wanted it purple, but I'm ready to change it. So it is on my agenda in the next week or so to repaint my front door. Not all of you can, I know. Some of you guys live in HOAs, some of you guys rent, some, you can't all just repaint your front door. But you might be able to put something on your front door that represents the color if this one resonates with you. Maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. But if it does, painting your front door green promotes well-being, promotes compassion, attracts abundance, and attracts growth. I'm all about it. So my front door is going green. I'm really excited. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. Now, I will, here in the next few weeks, I'll share other door colors and why you might want to paint your door that color. But today I'm all about the green. Okay. All right. Dr. Elisa's article this week is about, I'll just read you the header. How's that? She says the interpretation of your memory is the crucial difference between joy and despair. Dang, isn't that true? Isn't it interesting? It's so interesting to me that you can, policemen will say that they can take several people who have witnessed the same accident or the same incident, and they receive different accounts that aren't all the same. They're not necessarily wrong, they're not necessarily right, but your memory of it is different than someone else's memory of it, and that is because of your interpretation versus theirs. So in your own mind, the interpretation of your memory is, you can see it in a joyful place, you can see it in a despairing place. Something that happened to one person, they might remember with a chuckle, versus the same thing happening to someone else who might remember it with horror. And so examining those memories, examining maybe why you feel that way, it's really important stuff. It's deep internal work. She's very good for that. So thank you, Elisa. I really liked this article. It made me think about some of my own memories and how I have chosen to paint them for myself. All right, our weekly cosmic strip from Elizabeth Lindsay. She brought us the beautiful Octavia. She says, let that stuff go so a new dream can rise to the surface. It's Octavia, the octopus, of course, the incredible Octavia, no less, with the rising moon in the tide. It's beautiful. I love it. Elizabeth, thank you. And that's a dang good point. If you are, sorry for the term, but beating a dead horse, if you're holding on to something old and you can't seem to let go of it, you are preventing yourself from letting something new come in. It's just true. So if you're holding on to an old dream that isn't really serving you anymore, sometimes when you manifest something, I hear this from my clients sometimes, and I think I've done it too, but sometimes when you think you really want something and you get it and you manifest it into your life, then at some point it may stop serving you. It may not be the job you want anymore, or the relationship you want anymore, or maybe it's just not where you want to live anymore, or whatever it is. Just because you manifested that doesn't mean you have to keep it. Just because you successfully brought that into your world doesn't mean you're saddled with it forever and ever. You are still free to manifest something new and make a change. Nobody said that this was some kind of a static thing that couldn't ever change or move or be new. So don't let yourself believe that. I think sometimes the world wants us to think that we should be grateful, and we should, but that we should be content with whatever scraps are thrown to us and just be grateful that we have it as good as we do, without really striving for more if that's what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay to say, yes, I do love this existence and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful for more. Don't limit yourself. There's enough for everybody. There really is. Oh, and why not you? By hell, right? Why not you? All right, our Magic Monday message is from, of course, our Melissa Caprio, and she has a show here, of course, later on in the afternoon, Postcards to the Universe. And her book is coming out pretty soon, I believe. Her Postcards to the Universe book. Very exciting. So the postcard this week is, I am beautiful, full of beauty. I loved it. Thank you, Melissa. Chrisanne Morgan is, of course, the psychic advisor over at When to Listen, and a dear little friend of mine. I adore Chrisanne. Her article this week is, again, talking about intuition. What's real about intuition and maybe what isn't. What could work for you versus what doesn't. Interesting. I saw something really interesting this week. You guys might be familiar with the psychic Uri Geller. He's very well known. He's the guy that bends the spoons. And he wrote an open letter that he posted on Facebook calling out, I believe, the Prime Minister of Great Britain. That might be wrong. I'm not sure. Anyway, calling out a world leader and warning her that if she continues to lead her country into Brexit, that he will take psychic action against her. Pretty interesting. I'm not going to throw a judgment out there. I don't know why he did that. I'm not really sure why he felt like that needed to be a public statement. I don't know what to think about that. I felt like maybe it didn't paint this industry in a very good light. He's obviously feeling super passionate about that. And, you know, I'm sure he has his reasoning, but I thought that was pretty fascinating. I'm keeping an eye on that one because, wow, that was a pretty bold thing to do. And, you know, maybe this work doesn't need to exist in the shadows. And I think that's maybe my own hesitation. I think I wouldn't have done that, but just because I wouldn't have done it doesn't mean it's not right for somebody else. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Anyway, so keep an eye on Uri Geller. He's got a bee in his bonnet, guys, and he means it. So we'll see what happens. All right. Lastly, Anita brings us Anita and the Masters. Of course, she's actually experiencing some volcano energy this week, and so she felt very drawn to the goddess Pele. So she, of course, is a Hawaiian deity. She burns it down so that it can be rebuilt in a better way. And sometimes that's what you have to do, right? Alrighty. Lastly, I did want to point out that we had featured Grace's new documentary. If you haven't heard about this yet, our very own Grace has her brand new documentary tracking the life of a psychic. And it is called Psychic, A Gift of Grace. And there's a postcard there. You can click on that and it will take you to the video on Vimeo. But it's also coming up soon on Amazon, Gaia, and Roku. So you should be able to access it and watch it. And we're really excited for Grace and proud of her and happy to help promote that. So all kinds of good stuff going on per normal, right? That's kind of how we roll around here, I think. All right, I'm going to take a big little jump into the, oh, there we go, into the chat room. Good job. Christy posted a picture of her new cards. So awesome. I was hoping she would do that. This is good. Okay. Thank you, Jan. Jan posted it. She posted an article. Uri Geller to Theresa May. I'll use my powers to stop Brexit. Okay, Uri. You're passionate about it. I'll give you that. We'll see what happens. Alrighty. Well, let's do the reading for the week. Of course, this is the Ground Blessed, Protect, and Move reading. This is my deck. You can find it over on my website if you have interest in it, if you would like to order it. I think it's kind of fun to have all the decks that the 1-2 fam have put out, because then you can follow along and do your own readings, and it's just kind of fun. So if you want this deck, you can go over to katie-weaver.com and there's a link there so that you can pick it up. But I kind of love it. I use these cards all the time, as I'm sure that you guys know. Jane said, freaking me out about Uri Geller. I've got one of his books and was thinking about him 2 days ago. So weird. Yeah, well, he's super active right now, so I can see why. All right, let's get started. So the ground card today is the tree. Ground with trees. Easy and potent. Put yourself with a tree. Either a grouping, a cluster of trees. Go wrap your arms around a tree you love. Sit with your back against a tree. Breathe with the energy of that tree and just feel the roots from your root chakra slip down into the earth and mingle with the energy of the tree roots. Very grounding, very peaceful, and hey, we need some nature. All right, the bless card is the body. I love this card. Is it time to bless your body? Is it time to address your body? Anytime this card comes up, I feel like it's a great reminder to revisit self-care. Are you giving your body what it needs? Rest, water, nutrition, movement, sleep. Are you? I hope so. If you are, great. If you're not, there's no judgment, but you might want to just reconsider. Sometimes I think this card comes up as a little boost or a little reminder to somebody who needs to get their fanny to the doctor. Is it time for a checkup? Is there something going on that you haven't talked about? Do not suffer in silence. There's no reason to do that. And you owe your body better than that, right? So take care of you. How do you bless your body? Well, by doing all of the things I just said, but in the energetic sense. Wrap yourself up in a hug and then speak aloud all of the things that you need to see for your body. Maybe it's vibrance, good health, energy, whatever, right? Feeling good, whatever. You decide, you know you. And just hold yourself in that place and just feel that shift when you speak those words about you. Feel that blessing just really emanate through you. No one will ever give you a more powerful blessing than you can give yourself. I mean it. It's true. And I will give you all the blessings you need, but you got to bless you too. All right. The protect card this week is the dark stone. So protect yourself with a dark crystal. It could be a bazillion different things, right? And if you need some suggestions, head over to Christy's online store. She's got a ton of grounding crystals. Great suggestions for you. So hopefully she'll throw up a link in the chat so that you guys can take a look at that. But that is her Peace Crystals store. But just a dark stone, whatever resonates with you. Hold it in your hands, hold it to your mouth, and speak into it what you want. Maybe you want it to Just protect you from lower vibrating energies. Maybe you want it to help you stay grounded amidst a lot of chaos around you. Maybe you want it to put a little force field up around you so you can go to Walmart. Whatever it is, tell it what to do. Crystals are activated, their properties through heat and pressure, or pressure. Hold it in your hands and warm it up. Put it in your pocket or in your bra or against your person somewhere to help it stay warm and have a little pressure from you. That's how you get it to work. That's the on button. All right, the move card is meditate, which I thought was synchronistic because of Kai's article this week. There needs to be some meditation this week. Sitting in silence. You do not have to do Om meditation. That's really hard. People train to do that. You can if you want to. There's nothing wrong with it, but don't beat yourself up if you can't. Moving meditation is just as powerful, right? I think that doing the dishes is meditative. I know. No wonder. No wonder I've been doing so many dishes lately. But there's a lot of ways to meditate. Maybe you'll meditate with a mala. Maybe you'll meditate with a guided imagery meditation that you're listening to. You decide, and maybe change it up every now and again. Sometimes, for me, I have to do something different. I may get tired of the same old, same old. All right. The boost card this week is music. Music is a powerful tool for boosting your spirit. Build a playlist that inspires you and turn it up when you need a lift. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy? What gives you a boost when you need it? You know, for some people, it's like metal, right? Heavy metal. Some people are completely destroyed by that kind of music. For some people, it's classical. Other people couldn't dream of listening to that. It is entirely up to you. What's been on my playlist lately actually has been the Across the Universe soundtrack. Have you guys ever listened to it? Have you ever seen that movie? I loved it so much. And I love the soundtrack to that movie. And lately, that's what I've been feeling really drawn to. So that's what I've been listening to. But it makes sense to pull together a playlist. And maybe it's going to be very eclectic, right? Hi, Laurie. Maybe you're going to have a million different things, right? Maybe you're going to have, maybe you'll have some metal and maybe you'll have some country and some classical all on the same playlist. Whatever. But put some music together that makes you feel amazing so that when you need it, you have it. With our current technology, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to have everything that makes you feel good because it is literally at our fingertips. Our kids have no idea, right? They have no idea. When you bought the cassette so that you could listen to the one song that you wanted on it, and you either had to fast forward or rewind or listen through the rest of the cassette, the rest of the album, and none of those songs were ones you were hearing on the radio. None of those songs were ones that you liked. But for that one song, you'd go buy that, right? You bet. They don't know. Well, and CDs too, of course. Or 8 tracks. I'm not judging. All I'm saying is technology has made music such an easy tool. Such an easy tool to help you and to help me. Okay. I love it. Kevin is spring cleaning by tearing through the refrigerator and cleaning it out. It makes me laugh partly because that has been in my bonnet too. My fridge has been driving me crazy. And my youngest needed to earn some money because she was going to a dance last week that was a girl's choice. So she had to earn some money from me to pay for that dance, right? So I gave her some spring cleaning jobs. So on my walls and my doors and all low places, about 12 inches from the ground or less, about 8 inches, there are little smudges from piggy noses. And so every so often you have to be on piggy nose patrol and go through and wipe down the walls, the doors. There's just certain spots that they always kind of get their snouts. So anyway, I put her on some spring cleaning duties to go around the house and get all the pig noses marks off of all the walls and the doors. And I made her clean out the fridge. And I have to say this kid is a trooper because if my mom told me I had to clean out the fridge to earn some money, oh, I would have been so unhappy. I probably would have done it because, you know, I wasn't really allowed to say no to my mom. And I probably wouldn't have gotten paid for it either. That probably just would have been one of those things that, yeah, you're certainly doing. But of course, for me, I hate cleaning out the fridge. But she was so amicable. She just did it, and she did a fantastic job. So it feels good to open that fridge and not have it be dirty and disorganized. And yeah, so I'm with you, Gab. Clean that fridge. All right, let's do it. Okay. We are going to work on some DNA work. There are so many good articles and videos out there. It's interesting to me that it's kind of popping up as a trending topic right now. It kind of seems to every so often, but it's really, it's a big one right now. I'm going to share an article in the chat room that I thought was really good, but there's a lot of them. And there's some really good YouTube videos too. But again, we're going back to the study of epigenetics. Epigenetics is a scientific study or a scientific principle based on the idea that DNA is dynamic. DNA is changeable. And that has been proven time and time again through that study. And it's very exciting because for the longest time, we thought that the hand we were dealt is the hand we would have. And in some ways, maybe that is true. However, we can always try, we can always pinpoint things that we would like to clear. And as you guys know, I've done a ton of work over the years in clearing scars, in finding scars on DNA that might be affecting your current experience. Some of the most prominent ones we've seen have been along the lines of trauma, addiction, financial issues has been a huge one, attachment issues. We've done a lot of work on epigenetics through the years on this show, and of course over at 1-2-Listen, in clearing away the wounds of your ancestors that may be coming back to affect you now. So it's an interesting thing when you can look in a pattern of family members and go, yep, every frickin' one of us, or nearly all of us, have had this thing, whether it's a health thing or it's a behavioral thing or an energetic, spiritual thing, you know, that this comes in all flavors, right? So anyway, this is where it's at. So there is a book called Networked Intelligence that really talks a lot about what Russian scientists have discovered about DNA. So according to Russian scientists, only 10% of our DNA is being used for building proteins, which makes up who we are. Beyond that, there's 90% of DNA that's been considered junk DNA. Now, as far as junk is concerned, not so fast, right? Because it's not junk. This is the part of DNA that is reprogrammable. This is the part of DNA that they are discovering can be affected. So that's what we're talking about. It is a data storage device that stores data, I believe, not just from our ancestors, but also maybe it helps hold on to our Akashic records. But it's a data storing device. Well, we can always take a look at that data, right? We can always at least attempt to affect that one. So how do we affect it? With vibrational frequency, whether it is the spoken word, like mantras and affirmations, with frequency, like sounds, like toning, like singing bowls. So, DNA is living tissue. Some people are working on it through light waves as well. You guys, this is really interesting stuff. This is groundbreaking stuff that I suspect will become more, dare we say, mainstream over the years, or become more of an accepted philosophy. Science tends to turn over every so often. You know, scientists come up with a hypothesis, they prove it, it's what we believe for a certain amount of time until our technology increases enough that we can disprove it. And so obviously beliefs about DNA have shifted, and it's a powerful, powerful thing. They're in the process of shifting, and we can be a part of that. So we're going to work on that. So today, what I'm asking you to do is to determine something in your own DNA structure that you would like to reformat. What is it? Is this a health thing? You know, my grandparents on both sides were diabetic, and my parents were diabetic, and everybody said to me, you'll be diabetic. And when I was pregnant with my first baby, I was diabetic. And then after he was born, I wasn't. It was gestational, of course. And I have always said, I'm not going to be diabetic. I will not be diabetic. But it's been planted in me and planted in my sisters that we are diabetic. We will be diabetic because everyone in our family was. So the genetics said, yeah. And the family said, definitely. And maybe our bodies already accepted that. Maybe they didn't. There's no judgment there. But it's one of those ways where, because it has rolled through a family, our DNA accepts that to be true, our heart accepts that to be true, and frequently it becomes true. I'm not diabetic. I'm not going to be diabetic. And I'm not going to accept that in my DNA. Maybe my body will override me. That's okay. That happens. We are not 100% in control of everything. I know that. But for right now, today, that's who I am. That's my truth, right? What are you carrying? What have you been told forever is a part of who you are because it's a part of your family? What don't you want to accept any longer? This could be health. This could be something completely different. This could be something that has more to do with behavior. This could be with beliefs. But take a minute right now with me to determine something that you would like to reprogram. And here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to play the singing bowl. That's our favorite tool on this show, right? Except for maybe the drum. I'm going to play the bowl. And the first thing we're going to do is we are placing a command. And you'll have to make your own command. I can't do this for you, not with how many of you are listening and myself. So you're going to make the command, commanding your DNA to release the belief that blah, 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 right? Let's say money. You don't have to do this. You do what you want to do, but let's say money for fun. So you are going to say to yourself, I now command my DNA to release my failures with money, or my fear of money, or my challenges with money, or my block with money, or whatever it is that comes into your heart. You say it. This is up to you. Okay? And we're going to play the bowl, and we're going to sit with that. We're going to allow the frequency of the singing bowl to permeate your cells, carrying that command through every single cell of your physical body, right? Releasing that program in your DNA. Then we're going to come back together and we're going to make a new command. And perhaps you will command something like, I am excellent with money, or I easily attract money to me, or money is my friend, or whatever it is that you decide you want to say. Again, this sure the heck doesn't have to be money. It needs to be whatever it needs to be for you today. This could be health related. It can be whatever's in your heart, right? So you call your shots. So that's the new command. And then we're going to play the bowl again. And we're going to allow the vibration of the singing bowl to permeate every cell in your body, reprogramming your DNA to your new affirmation. Easy enough? I think so. Jan said, what if you update the agreement you made with your body to have a certain illness, diabetes in this case? Oh, the possibilities, right? The possibilities are endless. Endless, I say. We're not going to carry the stuff anymore. We don't have to. Whoever told us that we did, they were wrong. We were wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay for science to be wrong. It's okay for us to be wrong. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right. Are you ready? Do you know what you're going to do? Hopefully, I've given you some food for thought. So, here we go. So, I'm going to chime the bowl and then we're going to make our commands. Okay? All right. All right. So, this is the time for you to make your command. Again, this is what you are releasing. I command that my DNA release the following. And now as I play the bowl, allowing the vibration of the singing bowl to permeate every cell in your physical body, allowing this command to go forth. Okay, step number 1 complete. Moving on to step number 2. I'm going to chime the bowl. I want you to make the new affirmation. I command my DNA to shift my frequency to one of well-being. I command my DNA to shift my frequency to one of perfect health, or whatever it is you're working on. You'll be much more specific than that, I know, because you have something specific you're working on. Okay, so now, here we go. So speak your command now. Our brand new affirmation. And now we'll allow the vibration of the singing bowl to carry that new affirmation and deliver it to every strand of your DNA through every cell of your physical body. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. Okay, so there we go. That's a brief session, of course, but we're on the road. We're not going to take it anymore, right? We are demanding something better for ourselves. We are commanding something better for ourselves. We have that power. We have that strength. We have that ability. So let's keep working on it together. If you want some help with that, call me over at 12Listen. If we're going to work with frequencies, schedule a call, please, so that I'm in a place where I have my bowl so that we can do that work together. But I am here to help you with this. We are going to continue to revolutionize our own bodies, our own spirits, our own emotional bodies, because we can. So we'll keep working on it together. All righty. Taking a quick look in the chat room. Linda said her front door is already green. Linda, you are a goddess. I am joining you. Okay, Maureen. It's in a disagreement with her husband, and it's really got her stomach upset. So let's take a quick look at your belly, Maureen. Oh, we just got to release that. You're holding on. Actually, I feel like you've already started the healing process here with the work we've done today, but I'm just going to pull that out. It feels sour. Isn't that interesting? It's like you have a sour taste in your mouth for this situation, and it feels sour in your belly too. So I'm just pulling it out, bringing some balance here to your solar plexus and to your stomach. Ooh, that sure exposed a pain in your heart. All right. What do I always say? We're like ogres. We have layers. So let me work with that a little bit too. The word, Maureen, is betrayed. You just feel betrayed, that you're not being listened to, and that you really need that part of you that's feeling uncomfortable to be reassured instead of brushed aside. So I'm holding a lot of light for you that you can get that, so that you can feel better about all of this. Okay. Laura would love some healing to her left hamstring. She said, any message for me around it? Let's feel it out. Tight. They said, Laura, tight and unwielding. Are you being tight and unwielding? That might not be you, actually. I feel like that may actually be somebody in your home, in your family. There is some energy here of unresilient behavior that needs to be addressed. So I wonder if you're in a bit of a standoff with somebody. Not a big one, a little one, an energetic one. Okay. Linda, I have 1 minute. I'm going to look. She said, please help me heal the blisters in my scalp. My dermatologist has been unsuccessful and the pain is terrible. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look. Oh, this is affecting your whole life. They feel so acidic, like the acid in your body is rupturing through your skin. I'm going to invite you to look at what it means to alkalize your body and talk to your doctor and see if you feel like that is something that might be of benefit for you. I'm going to do a quick healing here, Linda, and I could certainly help you a little better in a one-on-one session over at 12Listen, but I'm going to do what I can right here, right now. Copper. All right. So in alchemy, they're showing me the energy of copper. That's not physical copper. It's the alchemical properties of copper. So I'm putting a little helmet on you of copper. They said we're going to allow the alchemical, ethereal properties of copper to neutralize the skin. All right. I'm all about it. All right. And you look into alkalizing and decide if that's right for you. Obviously, only you and your doctor can decide that, but that's how it feels to me. She says, yes, you're absolutely right. Okay. Yikes. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Please check in with me. Let's keep looking at it and working on it. Let's get this over so that you can have your life back. Okay, guys. Well, we did it. We talked down to the end of the show. You can find me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific with the Psychic Sisters. Me and Rhonda will be bringing you marching orders. You'll find me for the rest of the day over at one2listen.com, so I'll be there if you need me. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 12 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.